Welcome to Rave Vinyl Reminiscence, the channel where I'm going to take a look through the archives of hardcore from around 91 to 95 and share some of my passion for this amazing music from an amazing era. In this first series I'm going to take a look at one record label at a time, some of the major record labels, and then we're going to focus on the opening breaks of those tunes. So the mixers come in and that first opening break hits. So what record label better to start with than Impact Records? So before we get started, I just want to point out that over the years of my vinyl collecting, I've only bought the tunes that I absolutely have to own. So I haven't really got sort of like many filler tracks or anything in my collection. Impact Records, loads more tunes than I'm going to go through today were cut on this label. I've always bought the ones that are absolutely must-haves for me. So I've got a selection from 92, quite a lot from 93, which I think was the golden era for this label. And then I've got just two from 94 that I'm going to share with you. So my first selection is pretty much going back to basics with Impact Records. Now, to be fair, this tune wasn't originally pressed on Impact. It was pressed, I believe, on Liquid Wax recordings. But it was later pressed, and this is a relabeled reissue from later on. It was later pressed on Impact, and this is DJs Unite Volume 1. Now this tune is an iconic sound for the rave era of its time. If you went out in 1992 and didn't hear this track, then, well, you must have been having a pretty heavy night. This was played all over the place. You'll recognise it immediately. Have a listen. Totally classic. So my next choice, staying with DJs Unite, is DJs Unite Volume 2. Now this is on you can see on there, on a yellow and white label. On one side we've got DJs Unite Volume 2, and on the other side Come On. Again, this is completely classic sound, very, very high energy driving track. So have a listen to the opening break on this one. So next up, again, DJs Unite. This is DJs Unite Volume 3. And we're on this time a green and white label. So on DJs Unite Volume 3, on one side we've got the Volume 1 remix. So that's the remix of the first tune I played. And then the other side, Bass Penetrates. This is an example of when remixes were done really, really well. I'm going to do another example of that a bit later on. But taking Volume 1 and driving it with more energy, slightly up tempo, but also, as you'll hear in the opening break, like the stabs towards the end, they sort of turn upwards, and I think it worked really, really well. It's actually hard to tell, sort of decide really, which I prefer out of the two. I mean, the original is so classic, you know, so many memories with that. But this is an absolutely blinding track. Have a listen. My next choice is from Inspiration Point. So this is on red and white label, and again this is a relabeled reissue from later on. On this particular copy we've got Cuckoo in the Jungle on one side and Twister on the other, and I'm going to focus on Cuckoo in the Jungle today. And this is again a really high energy driving track. The opening break on this is really powerful as it cuts in, so great to throw in with any set really. Have a listen. So we're down to my last selection now for 1992, and this is DJ Seduction, and we're on a red and white label again now. On one side Higher Now and the other side My Own. So my choice off of this is My Own, and this is one of a number of tracks that kind of rocketed Seduction at this time into sort of legendary status. This track again is classic as it gets. There's no way you went out in 1992 and didn't hear this at least once in a night. DJs were playing it left, right and centre. Have a listen. So we're moving on now to 1993, and I said at the beginning that I think this was the real golden era for Impact Records. Do you know, when I was going through my collection actually and pulled them all together, I was really surprised how many I've got from Impact. And from 93 here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 presses. Like really amazing selection of tracks in 93. Let's put them down now. And my first choice for 93 is an absolute monster. So this is on a pink label, you see there, and this is Overdubb. And on one side you've got Ruffplate, on the other side you've got two mixes of Eruption. And the tune I want to play from this is Ruffplate. This is a total beast and a great example of Impact at its best, really. Real mixture of like darkness and atmosphere. When you listen to this, just you have to picture like the smoky atmosphere in the underground, the lasers, and just this sound just launches you into another universe. Have a listen. Heavy as you like, that track. Right, next I've got DJ Lee. So this is on a purple and white label, and on one side we've got Want Your Love, and on the other side A Touch of Darkness. Both sides, I'm going to say both sides. All of these are really worth checking out in full, because both sides, the flip sides of what I'm playing here on most of these, if not all of them, are really, really great. I'm going to focus on, right now, on A Touch of Darkness. Lovely example, again, of Impact, stuff that was getting pressed on Impact at the time. High quality samples, and like with this break, just kind of like a total air of like mystery, you know. The atmospheric nature of these breaks was just incredible. Have a listen. So we're going to return to this at the end, because I'm going to play out with the flip side on that, so we'll come back to that. My next choice is the Godfather. This is on an orange and white label. On one side we've got Look to the Light, and the other side Take Me Away. And my choice from this press, without any doubt, is Look to the Light. Love this tune. As with so many of the tracks that were pressed on this label at the time, it's just an example of like really lovely quality production, tasteful, classy samples. After this, I said I've got a couple from '94. After that, for me personally, it all just went a bit cheesy, to be honest. But I mean, it wasn't just on Impact. It was like, it was all hardcore, really. Just kind of, to me, it just started to sound a little bit like a children's TV program. After sort of 94, 95, I moved away from hardcore, and when I was DJing, I was playing more kind of house and stuff like that. But this really is the era. Have a listen to this track, it's top quality. Next, Static Substance, and this is on a grey and white label. On one side we've got Ghetto People, and the other side Follow My Beat. Ghetto People is my track of choice on this press. It's one of my many, but one of my favourite tunes. The opening break on this, in a certain state of mind, literally melted your brain. I'm going to play the opening break on this, and then I'm going to pull up the remix, which is another example of a remix done really, really well. So, but this is the original. It's like having someone drill into your brain. So, the remix. This is on, it's actually just a completely plain white label, this one. We've got on one side the Ghetto People remix, and on the other side a tune called Happiness. So this remix, as I said, is an example of when remixes are done really, really well. It's done so well that it's actually difficult, again, for me to decide what I prefer out of the two. I love the original for what it is, but this tune is just like, it's even more driving and powerful. And what I like about this, as far as a track to sort of mix in and then drop that opening break, is they've taken some of the sort of ravey stabs from later on in the original and brought them straight into the opening break. And it's really, really powerful. Have a listen. Great work there from Static Substance. So my next choice is going to be bass influence, and this is on a green label, both sides. On one side we've got bass rhythm, and on the other side a bonus track, and then Let It Rip. Let It Rip is, I mean, both sides of this are really good, but Let It Rip is the track that I really bought this for originally. This is, I've said so many times now, you know, with a lot of the tunes that were pressed on this label in the time, just like classy, atmospheric. I mean, how many times am I going to use them words? But this one in particular, so this opening break, again, I'll draw your mind back to just picturing kind of the atmosphere at the time, the smoke, the lasers, the kind of mood we were in. And I mean, just, you know, this, imagine, just picture the atmosphere this creates when this kicks in, this break. It's like relentlessly driving as well, the drums on that. Right, my last choice for 1993, and what a tune. This is Mystic and DJ Fire. It's on a yellow label, and this will feature, at some point I'm going to do a video of my top, ain't even worth saying my top 10, because that's just going to be impossible. My top however many it's going to be. This is without a doubt one of the greatest tunes ever from this era, personally, I think. And that is True Love. On the other side we've got Illusions, but True Love is the tune on here. this is kind of almost perfection, really, I think, for this particular genre. The opening break on it is just beautiful. And those of you who know this tune will know that later on, as we go on, the piano breaks on this are just to die for. I'll let it speak for itself. Have a listen. I have to pause this for just 1 minute to remind us that this music, these tunes were made to be played on massive sound systems. And if you were as fortunate as I was in that time to be able to go out and hear these tunes played over these enormous systems, you'll know exactly what I mean. So the bass and the drums would literally tear through every atom of your body. When I used to go out to clubs, I would find myself, park myself, I'd leap around like an idiot, but park myself up near one of the speakers as close as possible, and the bass would rumble through every single cell in your body, make you want to drop your bowels. It was a very, very physical, almost spiritual experience, the vibrations through your body. So much of this music, the true experience of hearing this music in its element is to feel it. You just can't get the full effect of this music on a little house speaker system or on headphones. So just picture this in the underground, as I say, you're right near the speaker, this rumbling through you. Wherever you are, turn this up as loud as you can and listen, because as we come out of this opening break, you've got the driving punch of the bass. And then the drums come in, and these drums literally, as I say, they cut straight through your body, and then it layers up as it starts to go, and the whole track just opens up. It's amazing. Like I said, I'm going to delve into that tune in a bit more detail in a later video. Right, so we're done for 93, and we're into like my last two. These are the only two really I've got from 94, and then that was it for me. Departed from Impact Records. Wasn't much longer after this. I departed from hardcore, as I say, generally, just because it started. There was a lot of splits going on, wasn't there, in this arena, and hardcore just went a bit weird. So my first choice is Got the Music. So we're back to Seduction now, and Seduction done an amazing job on both sides of this. Red label, both sides. On one side we've got Everybody, and on the other side Got the Music. And I'm going to play, although both sides are brilliant and I really recommend checking it out, I'm going to play the opening break to Got the Music. Really great production on these, very, very tasteful, some very powerful breaks throughout both of these tracks, but have a listen to this. This is lovely.
Hey, go for the dope plate.
So we're on to the last one, and this is Bass Influence again. We're on a black label, and on one side we have got All Massive, and on the other side Music's Hypnotising. Both sides of this are absolutely fantastic. It just seems odd now looking back, really, that straight after this, really, I didn't buy any more Impact records. It just lost it for me. It was just the way that the direction of the music was going. This is worth checking out, both sides of this. They're both very powerful, very driving, fantastic atmosphere, great breaks all the way through it. Just both absolute monsters. But I'm going to play the opening break to All Massive. Check it out, it's class. So I hope you've enjoyed this journey with me, revisiting some of these quality tunes on a record label that was just massive in the day. From an era that, I know old farts like me say this all the time, but before we knew it, it was gone. Like, as quick as it came, it went. And it's a real privilege to have been a part of it. To have been able to go out and listen to this music played over these massive sound systems, and to be a part of we felt like we were a part of something completely new, and we were really, but lovely times. I mean, everyone was out. No one seemed to care who you were, really, where you were from. Everyone was just there for the love of the music and to party. And yeah, there were some helpers to the atmosphere for loving each other. But, great times. Every now and then I'll venture out these days when I see like a rave advertised that's kind of back to the old school, as it's kind of promised. And I'll be honest, pretty much every time I'm disappointed with the music selection. I'm not a big fan of the new school stuff. Not that there's anything wrong with it. I mean, I'm really glad it's happening. I have bought a few tracks, but I just adore this old stuff for me, because every tune just contains that magic of that time. The freedom that we felt back then. It was different times, and it all feels like it's locked within this music. So I'm going to finish and say goodbye with a tune. DJ Lee earlier, I played A Touch of Darkness, and I said, look, the flip side of most of these are really, really great. They're worth checking out. But we're going to play out with Want Your Love. And again, this is a really beautiful tune, like really nicely produced, tasteful breaks all the way through, really great. The break on this doesn't come in until a little bit later on, so that's why I've saved it as our play out track. But have a listen, enjoy, and hopefully you'll join me again, where we're going to take another record label and do the same. Take a journey through, listen to some of the opening breaks, and appreciate some of this amazing music. So I'll see you next time. Take care.